Belkin now released their Qi2 3-in-1 desk charging stand. This is their newest version. Before they had previous versions, but the one prior to this one did have 3-device charging. You had the iPhone charging, the Apple Watch, and your AirPods. However, it used MagSafe. So you must have a MagSafe iPhone for you to be able to attach it to the device and charge it wirelessly. However, this new version has Qi2, which, if you don't know what that is, it's the latest charging standard, and pretty much you have the ability to use other devices to charge as well, like an Android device that supports Qi2 wireless capabilities. Then you can charge on this charger as well. So if you're a household that has multiple different devices that support Qi2, this is the way to go. And you also have the ability to charge your Apple Watch and AirPods or any other device that has wireless charging. Fits on the bottom pad as well. Keep in mind there's a little indent for you to place AirPods or headphones in that little cubby, but you can also place a phone and it still uses 5 watts of wireless charging as a backup. Let's say you had a work phone or any other device that you would like to charge on your nightstand or desk at the same time as your other devices. So the other cool difference here is that the previous versions had a power supply that plugged into the wall, and there was a little cable that plugged into the actual base. However, now you have a USB-C braided cable that comes out of the base, and you plug it into the included 35-watt power brick, and this gives you the ability to choose USB-C to charge. However, the cable no longer separates from the base, so you can no longer remove it from the base and, travel that way. But with this big of a charger, I wouldn't really travel personally because I think this sits more on a desk or a nightstand and isn't really meant to be lugging around in a suitcase or a backpack because you might damage it from the design that it has. But the other cool parts here is that they have 2 versions. They have a white version and a black version. I chose the black one because it looks better with the interior of my room, especially on my nightstand. But if I were to get one for my desk, especially it being white, I'm gonna put a white charger on there. So it gives it that more minimalistic look to my entire desk design. And the other part that's also cool is the fact that the base has a nice weight to it. So when I lift my phone off the charger, it doesn't lift the entire charger up, which is something that I really do like because I previously used the MagSafe Duo. And if I don't have that planted on the nightstand with some Velcro, there's no way I'm not gonna separate the Duo from the nightstand, and I'm pretty much picking it up with my phone. So here with this weighted base, you don't really have to worry about, picking up your phone from the charging stand and not picking up the charging stand itself, which I really do like. Good job, Belkin, on that choice that you added some extra heft to the base. But now let's get into the actual charging facts. So speaking of charging, you must have an iPhone if you are an Apple fan, of an iPhone 12 or above, and make sure you have the latest update. That way you have that Qi2 capabilities, especially if you have an iPhone 12. But if you have that iPhone with Qi2, then you can use full 15 watts of power, just like you could use a MagSafe charger. And now, if you have an Apple Watch that's newer that supports fast charging, the module on this Qi2 charger from Belkin also has the fast charging module from Apple. So you can get that quick charge on your Apple Watch if you need it. Especially for me, if I want to sleep with my Apple Watch Ultra, then I can charge it up quickly when I'm in the shower in the morning, and I don't have to really worry about the battery life not being there, especially when I need it the most. So that quick charging is a great benefit to have with this charger. The other cool part is that you get that 5-watt charging pad on the bottom. So if you had AirPods, for example, I have the AirPods Pro 2, so I can use either the 5-watt charging pad, I can place it on the MagSafe or Qi2 charger, or I can place it on the Apple Watch charger because the AirPods case supports all 3 of them. But the other interesting part is that you will notice previously, if you had to use a MagSafe charger, then the charger needs to have the original certified MagSafe charger built into the device. And that used to only come in the white color, just like you had the Apple Watch puck always come in white. And now with it being Qi2 and it being a totally universal standard, it can come in different colors. And that's exactly what Belkin has done here. They have the color matching the actual device color that you choose. So in my case, my Qi2 charger for my iPhone is also black, and looks exactly the same as the actual base, which is a really interesting thing. And a lot of more accessories are going to come out from different manufacturers that can change the color of the Qi2 MagSafe charger. That is really good. So you also might be wondering, what is the difference between Qi2 and MagSafe? So they're pretty much the same for right now. You have 15 watts of power for both of them. Both of them do work on iPhones up to 15 watts if you have Qi2 or MagSafe. But on a previous MagSafe charger, like Belkin's old charger, you couldn't use any other device to charge with 15 watts. So now you have Qi2, which incorporates the magnets that also existed on MagSafe devices. So any Android device that does have the magnets can charge at 15 watts with this Belkin charger. And that is the key difference between MagSafe and Qi2. Qi2 is the same as MagSafe, but it just includes additional devices. So anything that's only MagSafe will only work with Apple devices, but anything that's Qi2 will work with third-party devices as well. And the other cool thing about this thing is the fact that the Qi2 charger can actually tilt up and down depending on how you would like to place your device. It goes all the way up, so you could place your phone straight up, horizontally, vertically if you want, and you have that flat base, or you can tilt it down. So this pretty much works if it's on a desk. You can change the angle of the device, or if it's on your nightstand, you can also change it because it supports standby feature, especially with the phone being in landscape orientation. Standby is pretty much that mode where you can see the time at night, and it dims down to a really dark red color, so it doesn't really bother you at night, but it shows you the time or any other information you would like, especially like your alarm time. That way you know that you've set it for a certain time. That's my favorite feature of standby, the fact that I can see my alarm on there and I don't have to worry about missing my alarm for the next morning. And the other cool part about this whole entire thing is the design looks a little bit more rounded, and it looks better than the previous generation in my personal opinion, because the previous one was all, white, and it had a plastic cheap, feeling to it, but this one has a better weight to it. It has a rubberized finish all over the device, so you can really feel that texture, and the braided cable just completes the entire design and makes it look like a premium charger, especially with it going for $150. I mean, it is quite an expensive price for this charger, but you are getting a premium charger that you could use for your Apple devices and any other new Qi2 devices that come out that will support Qi2 wireless charging. So the Apple Watch Ultra or a Series 9 smaller version, when I place them on the actual charging stand, it rotates the watch a little bit and it goes either left or right depending on the band you're using. So it doesn't really have any strong magnets to hold the watch perfectly straight. It just rotates, and that's kind of a bummer from just the looks of it. It doesn't matter because it's still charging the Apple Watch. I really would have wished where it would just look perfectly straight. I mean, that's some of my, preferences. But, of course, there's no other choice you could do here. I think they changed the angle a little bit from my previous version of the Belkin charger, but it still does not go into play correctly, and you can tell that it shifts the moment you place it on it. However, if I reverse my Apple Watch Ultra to the buttons on the other side, I have no issues with it rotating. So I don't know, maybe something could be fixed in a later generation where the entire Apple Watch does not shift left to right. But like I mentioned, that doesn't really affect the functionality whatsoever. That's just my little take on one of the things that I don't personally like about it. But fast charging is what's most important, because at the end of the day, this is a charger, so you're looking for the fastest charging speeds for your Apple Watch. So that's pretty much it. This is the Belkin BoostCharge Pro. If this is something that you're looking for, especially if you have multiple devices, Apple devices, or a Qi2 device, of course, then this is the way to go. However, if you don't have at least an Apple Watch, I could say that this isn't really a charger for you, because then you're gonna have another charger on there that's not really being used for anything. And I would probably wait for them to release a dual charger, not a 3 charger. For example, previously they had a MagSafe charger with a wireless charging pad on the bottom for your headphones. Well, they might come out with something like that similar later on for Qi2, but this one includes the charging stand for the Apple Watch. So that's my recommendation. If you have an Apple Watch, definitely get this because you can use the Qi2 power for 15 watts, but then you can also use the wireless charging pad on the bottom for headphones. And I don't really recommend this for anyone that's traveling. This is definitely not a travel charger unless you can find a way to not break it in a suitcase or a backpack. And that's pretty much it. I mean, if you enjoyed this video, then definitely give me a like on it so the YouTube algorithm works correctly. And leave a comment down below if you have additional questions. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Zaneve Tech is out.